Good morning, welcome to today's RC coffee chat. First cuppa of the day, always the best. Right, on the topics for today, there is quite a few, so I will do my best to speed our way through them. Oh, first one is a sad one. I'm such an idiot. You'll find out what that one is in a minute. I am so annoyed with myself. The language in this office was horrific yesterday. We'll come back to that one and we'll get that one over and done with first. Apparently the X5 Skywalkers between the Hobby King and the Pro one on Banggood are apparently different, and there are some subtle differences, but we'll get to that topic in a moment. Yesterday was a build day. I've just been chipping away at a couple of models. We'll find out about that when we got a load of carbon fibre in the Hornet FPV wing. There's a wing build going on here at the moment. C1 Chaser is worth a note as well. Oh, the Sky Shadows have now started being shipped, and I've got some additional images. Again, thank you to Solveigard Bond for posting that in the comments. The mini talent has progressed. And the last one is a question for you as well. So quite a few topics today, and I'm going to do my best to storm through them. Now, I'm going to start with the negative one first, because I was a complete prick. There's no other words for it. I think it's in this box. Basically, I wired up brand new RunCam Eagle. I bought this quite some time ago. It was in one of Banggood's offers, and I bought it because apparently it was pretty good. You could fly straight into full-blown sunlight and still see the ground. I quite like the idea of that. And again, it's just trying to work out for myself which FPV camera is the best. And what a knob. I wired it the wrong way round, and I've completely blown up the inverter on it. I think I've got a photo of it somewhere, and honestly, the language in here yesterday was absolutely horrific. Seeing magic pixie smoke coming out of an expensive, and they are expensive, that was the best part of 50 quid. RunCam was not a pretty sight, and I can tell you the language was bad. Very bad yesterday. By the looks of it, I've only burnt out the one chip, which I'm guessing is the down converter from whatever input voltage it is, to get it down to 5 volts for the actual board to work off. The thing is that is getting verging on very, very close to surface mount tech, and to desolder that is going to be a royal pain in the arse. Because we have a resistor right here on the side, and I think I fried that resistor as well, if I'm honest, or it's just oozed out some shmoo it oozed out his guts out onto the board. I don't even know what chip it is. I can guess what the chip does, which is a step down converter, but I don't know what the chip is, so trying to find a replacement is going to be awkward. Soldering it on it is going to be an absolute ass, but what an idiot. So please, just take away something from my utter screw up today, is if you're going to wire something up today, please take the time to go back and check the wiring, and double check the wiring that you have the positive and the negative around the right way round. And then I know some of you might have done the similar and maybe gone back to Banggood, for example, and said, oh, it's broken, doesn't work. That was totally my fault, and that's just wrong to do that. The RunCam Owl Plus, which I had over there, that was just black screen out of the box. That just genuinely did not work. That one, it probably did work, and some moron wired it out the wrong way round. So that's the negative part of today. I'm such an idiot. Let's move on to a cheerier topic. Oh, apparently the X5 Skywalkers, so the Pro version, we have to take a look at that, it's got a slightly different caroling mount for the motor. It is different to the one which is on Hobby King. Now, to be frankly honest, I won't be buying the one off PLA King, and I certainly will not be paying $289 for an Skywalker X5 Pro, because frankly you can buy a C1 Chaser and an Eagle Tree Vector and still have change left over. Yeah, anyway, enough on that one. What else we got? Hornet carbon fiber. Yeah. So like I said, yesterday I was here chipping away at models. What have I got? So I thought I'd share this one with you. This is the underside of my Hornet FPV flying wing. So number one, you'll notice that I've got some carbon fiber strip going across the nose. You do get 3 pieces with it, which are down either side of the wing. Let me just zoom out a mo. Down the wing there, down there, and then one across the middle. Since that's what they give you, and it's the carbon fiber strip, so pretty robust. What I've actually been put in is another piece across here underneath the nose. I've also put another strip all the way across the width of the Model 2. I've also been and put some carbon fiber rod on the elevons too, so we get better responsiveness in the air, because as I'm sure you're aware that I do like to thrash my models, and I don't like having bendy elevons. If I'm telling it to roll, I want it to roll immediately. And I'm sure many of you have seen how fast the rolls are on my other Hornet FPV wing. And also I've been and popped a piece across the nose. And that was a big hat tip to Dave, actually, because Dave left a chunk of foam in his nose area on his Hornet, and I've replicated that on mine. So in there I've got a carbon fiber strip. And a massive tip for you is definitely do use dress pins to clamp. It doesn't matter if it's EPP foam, which this stuff is, or it's EPO foam. Dress pins, you put your glue in there, and then you just stitch it. And I'm just using wedges like dovetails, which I'm sorry you've seen woodworkers use on the side of drawers and things like that. It's because it's not coming apart, and you can hold it together with your hands, click, click, well, just poke with some dress pins, and it'll hold the joints there seamlessly. Also, this probably won't come out on the camera very well. I don't know if you can see up just in there. There's another piece of carbon fiber strip either side, and I've also had one piece spare, and I've put that along the bottom as well. And yes, I've added some weight with some glue and whatnot, but my other one did take a lot of front impacts when I had the issues with the receiver cutting out. So a little bit of extra carbon fibre, a little bit of extra work. All I've got to do on that Hornet now is dig out the servo holes and dig out a video transmitter hole and a receiver hole, and then just glue it together. Put the bits in and she's ready to fly. Oh, and do a paint scheme, which the missus has bought that colour for the kids. Because, yeah, by the way, I've got 2 girls. And that's pretty bright, and that should stand out in the goggles. So it will be bright pink, the pattern on that one. Not entirely sure what pattern I'm going for yet. It probably will be a combination of pink, and I've got like a metallic silver as well, which should be pretty damn cool. What's our next topic? Again, I'm trying to get into a cheerier note after me being a complete idiot about that, and I'm still not happy with myself for doing that, because it was basically 50 quid pissed down the drain. Like I said, trying to stay on the cheerier side. Hornet wing. Oh, wing. Now, here's a massive point why I do not normally buy plug and fly kits. So that model turned up, and apparently it was plug and fly, so stick your receiver in and off you go. It was quite a fair description. Well, you had to glue the wings on. Probably wasn't really plug and fly, to be honest. It did come with a motor and an ESC and a battery. Got the battery here. It's probably not the best battery in the world, but it's rated for 20C apparently. It's got a Dean's connector on it, so that's going to have to come off. But yeah, it was a pretty cheap kit which I bought off GearBest. Super happy with it. But the motor mount was literally just hanging off, as you can see on your screen now. It did take quite a bit of effort to pull off, or you've got to give it its due. But then I've put lots and lots of goop glue in there. That's definitely set this morning. Again, also notice, can you see the amount of dress pins which I'm using on there? Brilliant. Glue it, and the glue which comes with the wing smells, glues absolutely fantastically well. Smells great too. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing with this wing just yet. It's literally been sat here for a month or more, and I've just not got round to building it. So it was only a bit of glue, stick it together, and off we go. Oh, the servos were quite well stuck in there, just not to my personal standard, because I was able to get a ruler up underneath it and then just popped out in my hands. Wasn't too impressed with that. And I don't know if you can see that on there. There was literally no glue on the foam itself. The only glue which they'd put in was on the actual motor mount itself. Oh, something else which I learned is that I did go to stick it together with Yoo-Hoo Power, so that cheap stuff, the £1 stuff from the pound shop, and it will stick the EPP foam, but it did melt the plastic, the black plastic. So keep that Yoo-Hoo Power away from plastic components, because it just started to eat into the motor mount immediately, and there was a load of black shmew everywhere as well. So do go careful on that one. The motor, it was a little 2600 kV. Probably won't keep that one in there. That'll end up in the parts bin to be used, more abused than something else. What else we got? That was plug and fly motor mount. Servos popped out. C1 chasers. So over in the Facebook group, it looks like those of you which ordered C1 chasers, they have started to arrive now with you, which is happy days. Saw a couple of people posting pictures of theirs in the Facebook group yesterday. I will get that build episode out, and I will do an overview to mine before we go into the build, because it will probably be, well, I know it was an hour and 12 minutes long, for example. So I will get that episode edited up as soon as I can. The Sky Shadow, yeah, so a couple of, let me get this open on another tab a second. I don't know if you saw this a couple of days back. Let me go and have a look on Banggood so we can get the actual model. Chop, chop, chop. Come on into webs. Right, Sky Shadow, like so. There. Pop that back on my screen. Yeah, so the Sky Shadow, they've started to be shipped now. Personally, I went for the kit version. I do much prefer kit versions so that I can get to select all the components in there, and I don't basically have a motor and an ESC, potentially a battery, which I'm unlikely to use. So I do much prefer kits. It does make it cheaper, and it also does give me maximum flexibility when it comes to the components which go in there. So for example, I don't really know which receiver I'm going to put in it yet, but I've got a box full of receivers, so any of them will do. Video transmitter, I know pretty much exactly one which I'll be using in there as well, and the antenna, and the electronics and the speed controller. Motor I'm not too sure upon yet. Looking at the propeller on the back of here, I would guess max is about 6, even maybe 7-inch propeller. Don't quote me on the 7-inch propeller just yet, but 6-inch. So yeah, that'll be something around the 2205 mark. So those of you which have got spare quadcopter motors, for example, that would be perfect. I'll probably be using something similar on mine. And again, no idea on the motor mount yet. We saw in the actual sheets of paper what the mount's like, so yeah, not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing with mine just yet, but it has been shipped. Whether it turns up today is a whole different question. Oh, and images of the fuselage have been discovered, so I want to say a big thank you to Solvagabond. I hope I pronounced that right. Yeah, this is some photographs of the fuselage of the Sky Shadow. Yeah, that, like I said, because we couldn't see in here, we don't know what the limiting factor on batteries were going to be. It looks like they've put the battery here. That looks like a 4S, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Could possibly be bigger, which they've stuffed in there. I don't know, but we'll take that as a 4S. Anyway, yeah, decent sized battery which we can fit in there. We're having to kind of guess. We're not going to be able to get the biggest battery ever in there, and also that's their flight control board down there as well, which I don't believe we get in the kit, so I'll be shocked if we get that in the actual kit version rather than the plug and fly set or plug and play one. So yeah, that's kind of curious whether we get that or not. To be honest, I doubt we will do. Yeah, it's a fair old size. look, there's another angle view on it. So what we can see from here is, yeah, the electronics go out that way. We've got the spar holes down here. Not entirely sure how the servo leads get back to the center compartment just yet. That's an unknown for us. Also, this front compartment up here, are you really sure we could fit a GoPro style camera in there? I'm thinking I got that Turnigy 2K, remember, I'm quite happy sticking that one in because it isn't particularly good. So we'll stick that in the front. Probably need to get the craft knife out and make that fit. As far as FPV camera, I've got no idea at the moment. I can tell you it won't be a RunCam Eagle. Moving on and staying cheery, that looks like a NASA 32 board or similar, which they've stuck in there, trying to give it some side of some proportions. So that's normally 35 millimeters or 3.5 centimeters. So what we're going to guess there? So that's 7, 10.5. We're probably around about 12 centimeters, which, sorry, I don't have a ruler here. A couple of inches, so about 12 centimeters depth or width for the actual fuselage itself. So it's going to be very, very curious on what size batteries we can fit in there. Don't know yet. It's going to be good fun when it turns up. And by the way, I'll put links to these photographs in the video description for you so you can study them as well. It did look very, very curious. Again, it's a flying wing. It's going to be fun, whatever happens. What else have we got on the topic list? Oh, the Mini Talon has also progressed yesterday. I'm down to the last 2 pieces to go all the way down either side of the fuselage. I've done all the awkward pieces up around the nose, around the back of the tail, up on the top of the fuselage, and I've done around the nose as well. All those tricky little compound angles I've done with laminate. And now the way which I was doing it was doing all the tricky bits first, and then I can carve out a sheet to go all the way down each side of the fuselage, and I'm at that stage now. And to be frankly honest, I'm sick to death of laminating. Yeah, so I got that far and thought, oh, screw it, I'll do the rest tomorrow. And today is tomorrow. Happy days. And the last one on our list is actually a question for you. Yesterday I published Balls Deep with the Micro Sky Hunter, and I'm sure many of you have already been and seen that episode when I'm just darting in and out of the trees and chasing Dave around and just basically chatting as we're doing the flight. My question for you is that, did you like that? Did you like that episode format? Because if the answer is yes, I have an absolute shed load of DVR footage, not only from the Micro Sky Hunter on other flights, but also the Hornet FPV flying wing as well. And I'm quite happy to sit here and do some voiceovers or give some commentary to the flights as well. If that is something you would like to see, do let me know in the comments section underneath today's RC Coffee Chat. So, on that note, Matt was an idiot and smoked a RunCam Eagle. The X5 Skywalkers are apparently not the same, but I still won't be buying the Pro version, and well, I probably won't be even buying the cheap version, to be frankly honest. The Hornet flying wing, the spare which I've got, that's slowly progressing. The wing build has started. No idea at all on what I'm going to do with this one. I've just got sick to death of it being sat here in the box, and it's been here over like probably 6 weeks or more. It's been sat here in the box, so it was about time she came out and started getting built. It was only quick, excuse me, a very quick glue up in the scheme of things. I don't know what motor I'm going to put in now. I don't know what setup. Do I set her up for FPV? Or do I keep it as a line of sight model just to spank the living daylights out of it? I genuinely don't know right now. And do keep in the back of your mind, those of you which are new to the channel, and again, you'll have to excuse me, I'm going to have to go and grab this one, because she is hiding down here, is you may or may not know about this one. And this is my little baby bat wing something or another. And this is, again, a Wing Z84. We've got the video transmitter out on the wing. We actually got an X8R sat in that wing as well. We've got a tiny little MT28, 1806 motor on the back. This one was being set up with iNav, but iNav decided to try and kill it again. I did also try and get the Pixrator in there, but that wasn't playing ball, so we may end up with the Vector sat in here. But this one is actually meant for like endurance, hence the much smaller motor. So I do have one which is available for FPV, but this one was more about endurance, so slower flying, greater distance and things like that. So I've already got one like that, so do I make a crazy FPV one? I don't know. I'm open to suggestions. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Ooh, on the propeller. Let me know in the comment section underneath this episode. So actually I'm going to leave you with 2 questions. Did you enjoy that episode which I popped out yesterday about balls deep FPV with a micro Sky Hunter? And number 2, what do you think I should do with this very, very much so blank canvas of a Wing Z84? Did we just stick a webcam on, an FPV camera on the front and then spank the living daylights out of it? And make it mentally fast? Do we... I don't know. I'm open to suggestions. So let me know in the comment section underneath this episode. And then finally, what do we have? C1 chasers have started to arrive. Sky Shadows have also just been shipped as well. And we saw the fuselage area of those. That did look half promising on the size of the battery which we could fit in there, because I'm actually thinking I've got some 1.8 3S batteries which would definitely fit, by the looks of it, in the front of that model. So that is promising. That is very promising. The Mini Talon has progressed. No real pictures on that one. It looks like a Mini Talon which doesn't have laminate down either side. And yeah, that other question which we had, the Micro Sky Hunter. So with that said, if you are out flying today, happy days. Please chuck a battery in there for me and spank the living daylights out of it. Because the weather here is all wet at the moment. Hopefully it clears up and we get some flying in today at some point. If not, it will be Friday. So with that said, for myself, Matt, thank you ever so much for joining me today. Apologies if I've not been as cheery as what I normally am. It's the day after and I'm still frankly really pissed off with myself about smoking the RunCam Eagle. And by the way, yes, I did go and order another one. Idiot. Just the way which things happen sometimes. So if you are, like I said earlier today, if you are wiring up anything today, please just double check your wiring. There was me just going and then magic pixie smoke. Never a good sign. So please double check your wiring today. And I really am going now. So for myself, Matt, thank you ever so much for joining me today for today's RC Coffee Chat. And I shall see you again tomorrow. Cheerios!